I gotta admit, the end of the Fever Mercury game made me sit up for a second because it got a little spicy with Caitlin Clark having an interaction with Dewanna Bonner out on the middle of the floor, sort of waving her back to the bench.
Well. It seems Dewanna Bonner may have just made the biggest mistake of her season, deciding to go after Caitlin Clark right in the middle of a Mercury versus Fever showdown. And let's just say it didn't take long for that move to blow up in her face. The cameras caught everything, the fans reacted instantly, and now the internet is having a field day. There's no way the league can sweep this under the rug. So here's the real question. Who really ended up looking worse after that exchange?
Now, we all know that the Indiana Fever is trying to make a push for the playoffs. We've been getting mixed signals coming out about Caitlin coming back, about Caitlin being, somewhat ready to go. Then we got Stephanie White saying it's day-to-day again, basically. Well, I'm here to tell you, Caitlin Clark is not shying away from making headlines.
Let's break it down. Caitlin Clark, only in her second year, is already the face of the league. Whether it's draining logo threes, dishing out highlight reel assists, or simply stepping on the court, everything she does commands attention. Like it or not, the WNBA revolves around Caitlin Clark right now. So when a seasoned vet like Dewanna Bonner decides to puff her chest and go after that spotlight, it turns into instant regret. What you get is a viral moment that's going to haunt her the rest of the season, because Caitlin Clark has a way of taking these little scuffles and flipping them into massive storylines, and fans absolutely can't get enough.
At this point in time. But that interaction stood out to me for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, obviously, is the history there, where Dewanna Bonner was on the Fever for a cup of coffee and then winds up on the Mercury. Before the season, Caitlin Clark said she wanted to win a ring for her. Right? She said, I want to win for her. And Caitlin Clark went out of her way to also, shine light on how Dewanna Bonner had risen up to the top of, near the top of the all-time WNBA scoring ranks. And then
Fever were already feeling the heat heading into this matchup with the Mercury. The season's been nothing short of chaotic. Injuries stacking up, coaches playing the day-to-day guessing game, and fans needing a medical degree just to figure out who's even healthy enough to suit up. Caitlin Clark has been in and out of practice with whispers about groin and ankle issues, sparking non-stop debate over whether she should be eased back in or thrown straight into the fire. It's been draining for everyone. And right in the middle of all that, Dewanna Bonner decides it's the perfect moment to step up and challenge Clark. Now, Bonner's no rookie. She's been around long enough to understand how narratives in this league take shape. But here's the reality. When you come at Caitlin Clark, you're not just taking on another player. You're taking on her massive fan base, the cameras, the media, and the countless highlight accounts ready to replay your worst moment on a loop. That's exactly what happened here. Bonner wanted to prove toughness, to show the Mercury wouldn't let the Fever dictate the game. Instead, what the world saw was a veteran forcing the issue against the one player who already commands more attention than half the league put together.
To the right, behind the coach, coming out and jawing at Dewanna Bonner.
The whole exchange was almost comical in how quickly it blew up. Clark stood her ground, casually waving her hand like, go shout somewhere else, while Bonner tried to puff up and play the role of the court's enforcer. The whole scene was almost surreal, mostly because of how the refs just stood there like statues, acting like they didn't see what the entire arena saw. And of course, when it's Caitlin Clark involved, the officiating always seems to find a way to look clueless, whether it's ignoring clear contact to the head, swallowing the whistle on obvious fouls, or hitting her with phantom travels. The pattern is the same. Clark never seems to get a fair whistle. But in this case, the silence only made Bonner look worse, and the fans caught on immediately. The second the clip hit Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, it blew up. Fever fans mocked how ridiculous the whole thing was. Clark supporters rolled their eyes, saying, "Here we go again, another vet trying to bully Caitlin." Even Mercury fans were left questioning why Bonner picked this fight in the first place. You'd think players would have learned by now. Angel Reese tried it, Kennedy Carter tried it, even Lexi Hull got dragged into one of these dust-ups, and every time it backfires. But here we are again, another so-called welcome to the WNBA moment for Clark. Only, she's not a rookie anymore. She's in her second season, and at this point, it's not hazing, it's desperation. The truth is, the Mercury know their window is closing. Diana Taurasi is in the twilight of her career, and Bonner herself isn't the cornerstone of the future. Meanwhile, the Fever have Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and a young core that, if managed right, could dominate for years to come. That reality scares veteran teams. It makes them lash out. And when Clark refuses to back down, when she throws up that talk to the hand gesture in front of a packed arena, it doesn't make Bonner look tough. It makes her look shaken. The irony is the Fever still lost the game. Phoenix had 5 players in double figures, They spread the scoring beautifully, and yet by the end of the night, none of that mattered. Nobody was talking about the scoreboard. The only thing people were talking about was Clark versus Bonner. That's the Caitlin Clark effect in real time. You can beat her team, you can win in the standings, but if she gives you that one viral moment, the narrative belongs to her. She owns the spotlight and the league knows it.
Most clutchest player on the damn team. I'm not just saying that just to say it. Lexi Hall stand on business when it's time to play.
Let's take a second to give Lexi Hull her flowers, because if anyone on the Fever deserved recognition in this chaos, it was her. She gutted out 35 minutes, dropped 18 points, and still locked in defensively while the team around her unraveled. Hull may not always light up the scoreboard, but when the game is on the line, she delivers. And the irony? While Bonner was busy trying to rattle Caitlin Clark, it was Hull who was actually causing Phoenix problems. But of course, that doesn't get the spotlight. Instead, the clip that went viral was Bonner looking pressed while Clark casually waved her off, which brings us to the Fever's coaching. Stephanie White, what's going on here? You can't keep letting games slip through your hands while opponents stack 5 players in double figures. That's not one mismatch. That's your entire defensive scheme collapsing. Fans are tired of recycled coach speak about day-to-day progress and taking things one step at a time. Meanwhile, petty sideline beefs are stealing headlines from the actual basketball. The wild part? Clark didn't even need to score 30 to win the night. All it took was a simple wave at Bonner, and the cameras did the rest. That's power. That's influence. And that's why every veteran who tries to teach her a lesson ends up regretting it. You can foul her, shove her, talk trash, but she's still the headline. And the WNBA can't spin it away, no matter how badly some execs probably wish. They could. Fans nailed it online. Congrats, Dana. You just handed Clark another viral clip. They're right, because this is what fuels the Fever fan base, and what fuels Clark herself. She thrives on pettiness, on doubters, on these so-called welcome to the league moments. The more it happens, the stronger her brand grows. Meanwhile, vets like Bonner end up looking salty, like they're gatekeeping a league that desperately needs fresh energy and new fans. And speaking of fans, don't ignore their role in this. Fever supporters have become louder, more unified, and fed up with the nonsense. They've watched Clark take cheap shots all year, seen refs swallow whistles, and now they're watching veterans step up just to check her. It only adds fuel to the fire. They flip the clips, trend them online, and turn Bonner's tough moment into a meme. That's instant regret in real time. Here's the thing. Clark knows the value of these moments. She's savvy enough to understand that every confrontation is an opportunity to win without even touching the scoreboard. She knows the cameras are watching. She knows the fans are waiting. And with one sarcastic wave or sly smirk, she flips the script and makes the other player look unhinged. That's not just basketball IQ. That's cultural awareness. That's why she's more than a shooter, more than a passer. She's a shift in the game itself. Bonner, whether she realized it or not, just handed her another brick in that wall. Fallout from Clark versus Bonner has already overshadowed the actual game. Nobody's talking about Phoenix spreading the ball with 5 double-digit scorers. Nobody's focused on Indiana's defensive breakdowns. The conversation is locked on Bonner trying to intimidate Clark and losing in the court of public opinion. Bonner might have thought she won a battle in the moment, but when the clip replays a million times with captions clowning her, when fans meme her before the final buzzer, the truth is clear. She lost. And here's what stings most for Bonner. Clark feeds off this stuff. We've seen it before. Every time someone tries to body her, she responds with logo threes, no-look dimes, or stone-cold stares. She doesn't need to scream or chest bump. One flick of the wrist or dismissive wave makes you look foolish. That's more effective than any trash talk. Meanwhile, the Fever's bigger problems remain: shaky defense, questionable rotations, and endless injury drama. Fans are sick of vague updates and tired of watching their star get beat up without protection. Add Bonner's attempt to big dog Clark into the mix, and it's just more frustration. And let's be real, the Mercury aren't suddenly the gold standard either. Yes, they spread the scoring. Yes, they're pushing in the standings, but their game plan included hoping Clark would get rattled. Spoiler alert, she didn't. She looked amused. She knows the vets are salty about her attention, and she knows the refs won't bail her out. So instead of whining, she shrugs it off and feeds the highlight machine: SportsCenter, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Which brings us back to Hull. While Bonner was jawing, Hull was grinding, stacking points, locking down defense, and showing again why she's the most underrated piece on Indiana's roster. You can't measure clutch on a stat sheet, but if you've been watching this season, you know she shows up when it matters. Meanwhile, Bonner's big moment, is destined to live forever as the time Caitlin Clark waved her off like a fly at a picnic. That's not legacy. That's meme material. So here we are. Bonner thought she was making a statement, but the only message anyone heard was that Caitlin Clark owns the spotlight. And honestly, it's a little sad for the league that this is what grabs the headlines. Instead of playoff, races, or great team play, the story is always who's trying to bully Clark this week. But that's reality right now. Clark is the main character whether players like it or not, and the more they fight it, the bigger she gets. The lesson should be simple. Stop handing her free viral moments. Stop feeding her fuel. Because every shove, every cheap shot, every glare just becomes another clip that grows her legend. And for Bonner, that means she won't be remembered for her 19 points. She'll be remembered for getting waved off by Caitlin Clark and instantly regretting. So what do you think? Was this just harmless trash talk? Or did Dewanna Bonner completely fumble by picking a fight with Caitlin Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next WNBA viral meltdown.